This game of Commander is brought to you by Condemn, because never underestimate the power of instants in a multiplayer format. Welcome to a game of Commander featuring myself playing my Brago King Eternal deck, Rob playing his Niv-Mizzet the Firemind deck, Ronnie playing his new Doran the Siege Tower deck, and John playing his super fast Ezuri the Renegade leader deck. John goes first with a hand of Myriad Landscape, Forest, Green Weaver Druid, Barhaven Elf, Seaborn Muse, Soul Ring, and Slippery Karst. I keep a hand of Mana Vault, Preordain, Mindstone, Plains, Hallowed Fountain, Plains, Island. Ronnie keeps an opening hand of Lightning Greaves, Kodama's Reach, Forest, Mutavault, Seed Guide, Ash, Mana Crypt, Wooded Bastion. Rob keeps a hand of a Volcanic Island, Basalt Monolith, Chandra the Firebrand, Misdirection, Pact Negation, Temple of the False God, Mountain. John starts the game by playing Forest and casting Soul Ring. Ronnie plays Forest and casts Mana Crypt and Kodama's Reach, putting Swamp into play and into hand. Rob plays Volcanic Island. I play Island and cast Mana Vault. John plays Forest and casts Barhaven Elf, putting another Forest onto the BF. Ronnie rolls damage during his upkeep from Mana Crypt. Ronnie plays Wooded Bastion, casts Doran the Siege Tower, and Lightning Greaves. Ronnie equips Doran and randomly decides to attack Rob, dealing him 5 commander damage. Rob plays Mountain and passes. I play Plains and cast Mindstone and Brago King Eternal. John plays Forest and casts Seaborn Muse. John cycles Slippery Karst during Ronnie's upkeep. Ronnie plays Mutavault and vindicates Brago. Ronnie then attacks me for 5 commander. Rob plays Temple of the False God, which means bad things for him. I ponder on my turn, keep the cards on top, and draw a card. I play Island and Detention Sphere, Ronnie's Mana Crypt. Funny how Detention Sphere doesn't actually detain anything. John plays Forest and casts Garruk Wildspeaker. Garruk untaps 2 of his forests and casts Green Weaver Druid. John attacks Rob for 5 with Seaborn Muse and Barhaven Elf. John and Ronnie both untap on Ronnie's turn. Ronnie plays Swamp and casts Seed Guide Ash, and equips Greaves to it and attacks me for 9 damage, 5 more commander. Ronnie then re-equips Greaves to Doran for safety. Rob discards at the end of his turn. I untap Mana Vault on my upkeep and play Tundra and cast Preordain, scrying a card to the bottom and then drawing a card. I pass. John plays Myriad Landscape and casts Sylvan Scrying, binding Gaia's Cradle. This is where things start to go very well for John. John untaps his landscape with Garruk and casts Ezuri, Renegade leader, and then cracks the landscape, binding 2 more forests and putting them into play. Seeming to think Rob is anything resembling a threat, John attacks Rob again, this time for 6 damage. Ronnie plays Forest, activates Mutavault, and attacks me for 11 damage, 5 commander. On his turn, Rob puts a card straight into his graveyard. On my turn, Rob gives up. I recast Brago and play a tapped Hallowed Fountain. John plays Gaia's Cradle, uses it, untaps it with Garruk, taps it again, makes 20 mana, casts Overwhelming Stampede, and before it resolves, activates Ezuri's Overrun ability 3 times. Yep, 3 times. John's creatures get +9 and then get +11, so +20. John attacks Ronnie and me with enough creatures to kill us both. Luckily for me, I am holding a Condemn, which I use to tuck the Barhaven Elf coming at me. Ronnie takes 46 damage, dies, and John gains 21 life. I take a damage on my upkeep from Mana Vault. I play Plains and attack John for 2 commander with Brago. I use Brago's ability, exiling 3 of my non-land permanents. Brago and Mana Vault both come back untapped, and Detention Sphere exiles Ezuri. John opts to put Ezuri back into his command zone. I cast Time Warp, targeting myself, and Clever Impersonator, copying Detention Sphere, exiling John's Planeswalker. I untap and take a damage on my upkeep from Mana Vault. I play Plains and cast a 6 mana spell in order to draw 1 card. I attack John for 2 more commander with Brago, again exiling my permanents, returning Garruk Wildspeaker to the battlefield when Detention Sphere leaves. When the sphere returns to play, I exile both of John's creatures. I cast Swiftfoot Boots. John plays Forest and casts Elvish Archdruid and recast Ezuri. Garruk makes a 3/3 beast. I cast Recurring Insight in my upkeep for 0 cards, but a storm count of 1. I sack Mindstone to draw a card. I draw and cast Stoneforge Mystic, binding and casting Sword of Fire and Ice, and equipping it to my commander. I then attack John for 4 with Brago, and deal 2 damage to Garruk with the Sophie, and draw a card 2. The spheres exile Ezuri and the Archdruid when they come back. Stoneforge finds Batterskull when it comes back. I then equip Stoneforge Mystic with Swiftfoot Boots. On his turn, John casts Immaculate Magistrate, and at the end of John's turn, I Stoneforge Batterskull into play. I cast Chancellor of the Spires, casting Overwhelming Stampede in John's graveyard, giving my guys +5 and Trample. But since he's got so much life anyway, I'm just gonna commander damage John by attacking him for 9 with Brago. I shock the Magistrate with my sword and draw a card. Exile my Detention Spheres, Stoneforge Mystic, and Chancellor with Brago's ability. I cast Sylvan Scrying when the Chancellor comes back, searching for a land, exile creatures with Detention Spheres, get some equipment with Stoneforge, and on his turn, John has no way of stopping lethal commander damage next turn from Brago, winning me the game.
Hey John,
Take a damage.
here's a pro tip. Always overcommit to killing Tristan. Like you
That's
could be
why
like,
if we play in
"Oh,
teams, I want him on my team.
If you're like, oh, I can send 1 dude at him and kill him.
Play a
Send 3
Plains.
dudes at him and kill him.